Welcome to the HEARTS Entwined podcast. In this podcast, we'll be having discussions around the secrets which attract lasting, healthy, fulfilling relationships, creating a healthy mindset, and what women should know and understand about men. Introducing your host, Lyn Smith, the Queen of Hearts, relationship expert, trainer, speaker, and best-selling author of the Cupid's Bow technique. Lyn's mission is to have a positive impact in reducing divorce, domestic violence, and suicide.
Welcome to the HEARTS Entwined podcast. This is your host, Lyn Smith, the Queen of Hearts. And today, listeners, I've got a returning guest. She's a good friend of mine and always been a great supporter of the podcast and the episodes and myself. So thank you so much. I really want to give you a warm welcome, Bernadette Ana Bruckner.
Yes, welcome. And I'm so glad that we finally meet us again, because it's a long time ago. And I love the way what you're presenting and all these so important topics. And that's what I like. Yes, and let's discuss about a very important topic today.
Absolutely. And what we're going to be talking about today, listeners, is how to attract healthy love, because I think there's so many of us that get stuck in unhealthy, or if it's not unhealthy, unfulfilling relationships. And we don't know the reason why that happens and why we've probably got a bit of a pattern as to why that happens. So, Bernadette, can you kick us off as to, what we need to learn about ourselves in order to attract healthy love?
I mean, this topic is a topic where people discuss for decades about it, to have the ultimative formula for getting the perfect man, the perfect woman, or whatever. And there's one thing what I always, and that's why I actually wrote my book about pure loving, is that the love begins always with yourself. And when I meet people and talk to them or work with those people, there is so much self-doubt, so much non-loving there for themselves. And they seek loving in other people. And no, we have to begin with ourselves. But this is actually the most, not only important, but the most difficult one, to begin to loving yourself. And when it's come to healthy loving, or I don't even say love, I say loving. And for me, it's a huge difference. I play with words out of neuro-linguistic. And for me, it's like when someone says to me, I want to have more love in my life. I was like, okay, let's talk first. When do you know that you find love? What is love for you? Because for me, it's only, I always say, a word salad for 4 letters, not more. What we put in this, the meaning in it, in these 4 letters, makes the huge difference. I work with abused people. They see the word with the 4 letters love totally different than other people who grew up in a very loving environment. And that's make the huge difference. And most of the people looking for someone for the other half, I mean, out of the wording, other half, what does that mean? Am I not whole when I'm not in a relationship? It's always the same discussion. And for me, it's like, no. The loving, first we have to find a common ground, what you believe loving is or love is. Then we can go further. Where do you feel love? When is non-loving there? Yeah, to make a huge difference. And the next step is, how can I find self-loving in myself? Love begins always with self-loving, always. And how can I attract that person who actually, or those people, because loving is not only in relationship and sex, loving is way much more. With a good environment or people where you can blossom up. If you have a surrounding, and a lot of people have a surrounding which is actually not only toxic, but also keeps you small, it's like, how can it? I think one of the, and as more as I explore myself, for me, it's like, I don't want to say, yes, I begin to become an egoist, a healthy egoist, because I have so many dreams and so many self-respect for myself and my body, and because I have so many challenges behind me, that I'm like, I want to live my life the way I love to love, and I love to live, and I want to have an environment which is supporting. who supports, who be there, or not be there, but be there when I love to have someone around me, who don't, how should I say, who don't force me and having an opinion what they believe is true or real, but to be so open-minded and supportive, that I can live my life I want to have. And for me, loving or find the perfect or a healthy loving always begins with yourself and fulfilling
Absolutely.
actually your and fulfilling your dreams.
Yes. And finding a partner that supports that and encourages that rather than undermines that. And like you mentioned, makes you feel and keeps you small. I love the fact that you mentioned about the other half, because, I often speak to people that say, when I find my partner, I'll feel complete. But like you said, you're already complete. You want somebody to
Yes.
complement you, not complete you.
Inspire or bring the best out of you. This doesn't mean by the way, a healthy relationship or healthy loving doesn't mean that you don't fight, that you don't have any conflicts. A healthy loving gives you the field or the surrounding where you can blossom up and the other person can blossom up. And when whatever reason you separate one day, of course it's grieving because you love this person, but that you are also be happy that this person goes on and blossom up themselves as well. So you wish also the other person that they can fulfill their dreams.
Absolutely. I think there's so much pressure on us these days to think that relationships or marriages need to be forever. And, sometimes they are, but they aren't always happy if they're in a forever relationship. Sometimes it's just a relationship of convenience. And I think there's so much pressure these days, as I say, to think that once you enter a relationship, it has to be forever and you've made your bed and you've got to lie in it. But, we sometimes do grow out of our relationships, whether that's friendships, whether that's family, relatives that we don't see anymore. So we sometimes outgrow those relationships, and it's healthier for the benefit of all, usually, isn't it?
Not only that, because I remind myself, I grew up with Disney movies, living happily after. And most of the time, and I don't want to say it's an illusion. I met people who are so happy even after 30, 40 years of their marriage. And it's beautiful. For me, they are really role models. And it's not always to be totally happy all the time. Yes, it becomes like, I don't want to say in an ordinary way, but sometimes also nice. Not only putting all your effort in there and to be happy and everything else, but also be comfortable in the bad times. Be comfortable that a person is here, because for me it's like it's an illusion. It's an illusion. All the Hollywood movies and Disney movies where everyone is happy. No, it's not. There are good times. There are bad times. And for me, and it's so interesting. My parents, my father was a war child, my mom a post-war child. Of course, they have different beliefs in what marriage or how life should be. And nowadays we can choose everything. Does it make easier? No, it's more challenging because I have to work for it. I have to think about it. I have to question old beliefs, what they believe it's happy marriage or not. But it's also a huge opportunity to create yourself with the partner where you choose each other for whatever reason. Sometimes reason are very pragmatically. Sometimes it's also they choose a partnership because business, whatever. Yeah. When we talk about healthy loving, it can be everything in this part. For me, the most common ground for this one is actually, do I get a space? Do I get a field? Do I get an area where I can blossom up? Where I can find myself? Where I can go and chase my dreams? If it's good, if they're good dreams or not. But I have a playground where I can explore myself, my competencies, and also find the loving. And the loving, when I say loving, loving is for me way much more than love. Loving is something where is a process. It's continuous. It's not, okay, 1 minute I'm loving myself now. And then I have no idea. So when we talk about living or loving, when we talk about loving, I begin to explore with the people, where do you feel that in your body? How do you describe for yourself loving? We have so many books about that. We have so many gurus who talk about loving all the time. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, because it's a description. Pure loving is a feeling. Pure loving is something what you have in your heart, what you have in your origin, what you have in your body. Sometimes I cannot describe it. Sometimes I'm just content. I'm just here. I'm just happy. And this is still all again only words. Pure loving, I can't even describe. It's a state.
Yes, I agree with that. It's just there, isn't it?
Yes.
You can't see electricity, but it's there. And the same
Yes, exactly.
with that feeling of loving,
Yes.
maybe, it is very difficult to try and actually define or put into words, because that feeling might be different for everybody.
Yes, and it's so interesting. We always want to describe something. And in one book, and also in my workshop, I always say the language is the most limited communication what we have. So when I talk about healthy loving, and as you said, everyone is different, but there's one thing. You see a person who is, when they are in a healthy loving or in a self-loving, I say pure loving, you see it in the whole body. They are relaxed, they are smiling, their eyes are open, they are glowing, and they are just content. They are just there.
It's
And
more to do with the physiology, isn't it? Rather
yes,
non-verbal gestures more than anything.
yes.
Energy.
And if I would ask these people, how would you describe loving? They would not can describe it. And the interesting thing is, when people are in relationship, they want to describe everything. Do you love me? Yeah. When you want to have a conflict in a partnership, you ask this question every time. Do you love me? No, you don't love me. You love me more. Do you love me? Because sometimes it's a feeling. It's sometimes, and you see it, especially, I don't want to say with men, because they use less words than women, and something like there are so many stereotypes out there, and maybe it's not describable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something what you feel in your heart, and you see it in the you see it in the eyes, you see it in the gestures, you see it in the body language, and we force people to talk about it. I can support people to talk about it when they're in a toxic relationship where abuse is a topic. It's easier for us to describe. It's easier for us to see. It's easier for us to handle. We most of the time cannot handle real, pure loving.
I agree with that.
When I see nowadays, it doesn't matter when I turn on the TV, it's like I'm not quite sure if anyone out there knows what pure loving is, because there's so much hate, there's so much violence, and it seems like it's easier to create or be violent than be loving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think quite often we get stuck in, wanting that external validation rather than actually thinking and asking ourselves a different question. How can I validate myself? Rather than looking for that validation from other people.
Outside. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But isn't it interesting? Because I go into direction of psychotherapy. And for me, it's of course very interesting about how is it possible that people become so much hate and so much violence, and it's all about the childhood. And if I see so many people, it's like I'm a generation where most of the time the father was not there. So how can I build up a healthy relationship with men, or a healthy relationship where knowing what a father should be? I have no idea. I have an idea, but in former times I didn't have any idea. So when you see children how they grow up, we see role models. The people can talk whatever. At the end, they imitate you like a role model. And when you don't have a good role model, what loving can be, or loving gesture can be, then it's very hard or challenging that people create this loving habit. That's why we have so many workshops out there for partnerships, relationship, for whatever ship, because we most of the time we didn't learn it.
No.
But the first 5 to 7 years, Jean Piaget or the development therapists, they say these are the most important where you create your I or your identity. So if you don't have any role models there, when you have no idea how it is, how it could be or should be a healthy relationship beginning with yourself to get a healthy inner picture of yourself, then it can be challenging also in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was lucky because my parents weren't great role models because they had a very volatile relationship with each other, and it was quite a dysfunctional family environment because they were both very harsh when it come to discipline. It's very strict, and it's a case of children were seen and not heard and all that. But luckily for me, I also had a good friend of mine who had a mum and dad who was very happy, and totally the opposite. You could see there was in a very loving relationship. So even though the role model nearest to me wasn't great, I did see good role model behavior in other people.
Yes, same here. I've found in some other people my role models, and this makes the huge difference. And when it comes to healthy loving or healthy love, it always begins yourself and your own picture, your mentally inside own picture about yourself. And it has a reason. Sometimes I'm like, okay, we are here maybe in a harsh world, and there are other people out there who are telling you who you should be. How can you create yourself a healthy inner picture of yourself? Is it easy? No, it's personal development. But the question is, which environment do you like to have? I grew up not because of my parents, but because of the people I'm coming from a bakery and a cafe, and we had a very interesting guests, very harsh guests, especially men, old men. And for me, it was tough to grow up there. And today, it's like what I believe this was a challenge before. I see it as a gift because I can work really well with those kind of clients. And because I begin to understand them. And when you grow up for yourself, and I want to give all our audience I want to give your audience a method or something to try out.
Excellent.
I'm a visual person, so I work a lot with drawing, for example. And you can take a paper, a big paper, small paper, however, and begin to draw yourself. You can draw only your face. I always recommend most of the time the whole body, because the way you draw or see yourself, you can picture. And it's not about if it's a good drawing or not. Yeah. Pablo Picasso became with his drawings millions. So it's not about if it's a nice, so don't be perfect. Draw out of your feelings. With this question, how do I see myself? And you can choose colors, you can choose whatever, but see yourself to get to the next step. When you are finished with the drawing, which kind of feeling do I feel when I see my drawing? The way you talk with yourself inside, the way you talk with yourself with other people says a lot about your internal picture of yourself. And I saw different drawings already. Sometimes because I work with people with eating disorder. Sometimes totally, how should I say, totally out of a reality. And it says a lot about my inner picture about myself. And this is something where you can the first sentence, how do I see myself, which is most of the time very subconscious, but most of the time because out of hurtings of the childhood where other people telling you the way they see you.
Yeah, absolutely. And quite often we're totally unaware of how we're seeing ourselves, and quite,
Yes.
totally unaware of our negative self-talk relating to ourselves. When we're sort of saying, "Oh, I'm thick, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I'm not enough, and I'll never find a great man, and because I'm not worthy, and all this sort of thing." We don't even realize we're saying and affirming those sort of negative statements to ourselves, and then wondering why we're not attracting a healthy relationship.
Yes, exactly. But that's the core point. And when I listen to people, I'm asking, who is talking now? Are you talking, or is this a teacher of yourself? Is this your mom, or whatever? And if you begin to realize your self-talk and what you say to yourself, your body is listening. Everything what you say to yourself, even when you say it in your head, your body is listening. And when you always say, "I'm too fat," I'm too stupid," your body is listening. How dare can you talk so bad about your body?
Exactly. And you wouldn't accept it from a friend or a relative, would you?
Yes.
And yet we're saying it
Yes.
to ourselves.
Yes. But this makes exactly the huge difference. I had one. I have to say I'm a very funny person. So when I talk with other people, I begin to find some kinds of methods. I want to support them. And there was one time I had so many friends who are very upset because they didn't have any boyfriend or any partner. And I'm like, okay, how can I support them? And I begin to give them the 10-point list methods. I'm sorry, but it's totally funny because our brain, we are human beings are so brilliant. Our body is so brilliant. When we begin to focus on something, and that's what I meant before, when you talk bad about your body, your body will listen to you. It's the same vice versa. So if you know what you want to have, you can make a list and write it down what you want to have. For example, I want to have a rich boyfriend. I want to have a loving boyfriend. I want to have whatever. Then you can begin to look for yourself because these are only wordings. I ask the next question: when do you realize with different action does exactly that what you wanna have, like a loving boyfriend? How do you know with which action does this boyfriend is loving? For example, I want to have a loving boyfriend. Yeah, how the actions to this wording could be. He is texting me every day, or when we wake up, he kisses me. When he wake up, he says, "Good morning, darling." When he makes the breakfast, or he's giving me flowers. Yeah. So these are actions, because every one of us, we have desires. But when you look down, how do you know that this desire is actually fulfilling? You only can see it with actions, because it's so interesting. There are so many people out there who desire a lot of things and then complain because they don't get this, because most of the time, internal, they believe they don't get it. They have no idea how to fulfill that because they never experienced, for example, before. So how does your brain or how does your body know on which they should look? A lot of people in partnerships, they know what they don't want to have anymore. A toxic partnership, an abusive, and da 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 da. But when I ask, but what do you want to have instead? Most of the time, the people don't tell me what they want to actually have. So
Yeah, they
if you
do
don't,
focus on what they don't want or what they're currently experiencing or what
yes,
they've experienced in the past, rather than thinking about actually what is it that I do want? Because as we know, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're focused on the negativity of what you're currently experiencing or have experienced in the past, then you're going to get more of that, aren't you?
yes. It's like with the brain cannot work with no. Like we cannot communicate, like Paul Watzlawick always says. So our brain only knows with exact commands. So when like example, when a woman wants to become pregnant, her desire is so big that her focus is only on pregnant people. She only sees pregnant women everywhere, or with cars. Isn't it amazing how amazing our brain or how our body actually functions and works? So when you know for yourself what loving, pure loving or healthy loving should be, then it comes more and more, and it always begins with yourself.
Yeah, that's it. We become a mirror for what we attract from the outside. So it's a very important point to get, and I know this point is rammed home quite a lot in different ways with different people that I have on as guests within the podcast, but it's so important that we actually do get it and realize that it starts with ourselves. It starts with validating ourselves. It starts with, appreciating ourselves and loving ourselves. So Bernadette, for those that might be listening that are thinking, you know what, I don't know how to start with actually loving myself or practicing what to do to start that ball rolling, what advice would you give?
I give you different ones. First, you can begin to write your own thoughts down, so that you become conscious what you actually talk to yourself all day long. Writing a diary, that's the English word. You're writing diaries, for example. It makes sense, even when it's maybe some people say, "No, yeah, that's so boring and it's not interesting." But there you begin to become more and more, or realize and conscious more and more that what you say in your head is something very important. The second thing is, it always depends, but if you like it or not. But self-loving for me, it's also doing your cosmetics, using hand cream, and be very gentle to your body after a shower, for example, and just look at in the mirror. Some people cannot see themselves in the mirror naked. It sounds totally basic. Yes, it is. And it's so difficult for so many people because they begin instantly to complain about their body.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too fat. Oh, you're this. You have cellulite. You have no judgment, nothing. Look yourself, and I know for me it was really, really challenging not to complain about my body when I see my body in the mirror. And begin small, 10 seconds, doesn't matter, but just begin and see your body and be grateful for your body. And the other thing is, it's the same. Talk nice to your body. Your body is listening. Talk nice to your body and be nice to yourself, whatever that is. For me, it's like I have weekly bucket list where I do something for me, for my body and my inner child. So there's at least, I'm working way too much, but there's at least one thing per week what I love to do, where I ask my inner child, what do you want to do this week? Most of the time it's ice cream eating, by the way, vegan ice cream. But this is something, and I see myself blossom up. My eyes begin to glow because I'm doing something for myself and my inner child. And healthy loving is doing something what your inner child loves to do. Even when you're grown up, it's not about the age. It's not about the age.
I love that. So for the audience members listening that would like to connect with you, Bernadette, what is the best way they can connect with you?
I'm on social media everywhere, but the best thing is on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile with Bernadette Bruckner. You will find me. I have my own or YouTube, so I'm everywhere. I'm a social media nerd. So yeah, give in my name and you will find it. Yeah.
It's been fascinating to talk to you about this topic of how to attract healthy love, because basically, we keep banging this same drum. It starts within, and it starts with looking first and foremost about having that healthy, loving relationship with ourselves, isn't it?
Yes. And even when it's like, duh, yes, of course, to go into action and begin yourself is for many, many people challenging. And for me, it's like, do it every day. Do it every day. And you will see there will be changes. When you begin to love your body, you will begin probably eating better, healthier stuff, doing exercise, whatever that means. I walk a lot. I'm not even nothing. I walk a lot. And for me, it's like being out in nature. So there are so many different possibilities. And for everyone, it's different. When you begin to love yourself, and that's the most important, that's the most fascinating thing for me, you begin to get a better, healthier lifestyle.
Absolutely. And it's not about beating yourself up if you have been hard on yourself in the past, because we don't know what we don't know until we do we?
Yes, exactly. And it's the consistency. It's not about now I'm going 8 hours for a fitness center and damn, it's okay. No, every day, small, and when you go 10 minutes,
Yes.
it will become more, because you will see your body will begin to move, and it's just it likes to be active. And it's
Excellent.
your temple. Yes.
100% agree. So thank you very much, Bernadette. It's been a fascinating conversation. I look forward to having some more with you in the future. So thank you for discussing this topic about how to attract healthy love.
Thank you very much. And it's always my pleasure being at your podcast. Thank you.
So, listeners, it just leaves me to say that true love starts with opening our hearts. And until next time, goodbye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Hearts Entwined podcast. You can follow Lyn via the Facebook group 2 Hearts Entwined, or search Lyn Smith, inspirational speaker, at LinkedIn, or email lyn@hearts-entwined.com. That's LYN@hearts-entwined.com. Remember, true love starts with opening our hearts.